Reptiles probably do not have the mental equipment to understand friendship. They often do understand harmless versus dangerous, which is why you can easily condition a speckled king snake or whatever to let you handle it safely. A domestic snake could become comfortable with you and might even seem to seek out your attention. Basic instincts would always take precedence, however, so the snake would hide when it wanted privacy, fight if provoked, and show no interest in your pleasure or displeasure. I would classify snakes as more of a display pet than an interactive one. The satisfaction would be in providing a habitat that encourages natural behaviors and the opportunities for you to observe these behaviors. A snake that seemed to enjoy handling would be an unexpected bonus. Pretty much 98% of all snakes are solitary and do not want to be with other snakes, and this is why you should never cohabitate most snakes. But a few species, like garter snakes, can actually form friendships with each other and feel more safe and secure when around other snakes, though it's not because I have fellow comrades here. If an enemy comes, we'll protect each other. It's more like there's other people here. That means it's probably safe here. We see a lot of animal rescue stories here. It's inspiring to see such incredible stories about humans taking time and energy to reach out and help our four-legged friends who may not be able to help themselves. But sometimes those furry or scaly or feathery creatures can rescue us just as much as we rescue them. Because older toddlers don't show fear in response to the real-life animals, the fear itself is probably not innate. Instead, babies probably recognize the snakes and spiders as a potential threat, which suggests that they're prepped to become afraid of them later in life. If your child is terrified of snakes or spiders, try not to show fear when faced with either creature to avoid reinforcing their panic. Otherwise, the best way to address their phobia is by acknowledging it and providing them with information about the creatures, for example, how they can avoid being bitten by staying away from tall grass, where snakes are often found. Empowering your little one with facts can make them feel more in control and, as a result, less scared. This approach also reinforces that in certain contexts, avoiding creepy crawlies is healthy and will protect them. This shocking footage shows a fearless toddler wrestling with giant snakes, even though he can't yet talk and can barely only walk. A huge pile of writhing up snakes is revealed after the boy lifts up a carpet and his dad films. His parents seem to encourage the boy as he sifts through the writhing pit of reptiles. The child is bumbling baby words as he grabs several snakes and picks them up one at a time. Before showing his parents, he hands the serpents to his father, who doesn't seem worried that his boy might be attacked. The dad then drops the snakes into a bag. The clip of the toddler is believed to have been filmed in China, where his family seemed to run a snake breeding farm. At one point in the video, the boy's mom decides playtime with the reptiles is over and makes him leave the room, but he begins to cry and demands to be allowed to continue. It's unclear what species of snakes are in the footage. The parents and the boy were not named in the reports. It seems that children have no fear toward snakes. Proud fathers captured the implausible. Second, his 2-year-old son casually hauled an enormous snake out of a lawn via yanking at its tail. Australia's monster croc wrangler Matt Wright has been taking pictures and relocating crocodiles all throughout the North Territory for remaining 20 years. The doting dad determined to show his son Banjo the ropes, the usage of a 2-meter snake, sharing the hair-raising enjoy to his Instagram. On Saturday, doting dad and crocodile wrangler Matt Wright determined to show his 2-year-old son Banjo the ropes, the usage of a 2-meter snake. On Saturday, the assured infant is observed grabbing the tail of the large snake with each palms and pulling it onto the grass in the back of him. "Pull him out, friend, pull him out. Pull him over to the trees." Matt encourages the irritable python, begins to flick his tongue at his dad. Banjo runs over to lend a hand. "Oh no," the lovable infant tells the crocodile wrangler. "Watch out, he'll chunk you." "You are given a head for the tail," Matt advises the 2-year-old. "Pull them out, friend, pull them out. Pull them over to the trees." Matt encourages his son, who's observed, with a bit of luck, choosing up the snake's tail with each palms. The odd video, which has gained over 370,000 views, used to be temporarily flooded with feedback from social media customers. Meanwhile, in Australia, one lady wrote that's superior like a tender Steve Irwin. Some other commented, "Nothing beats early finding out." A third stated the 2-meter snake is small compared to the issue. Crocodiles Matt is observed chasing and relocating on his TV show Monster Croc Wrangler. The sequence follows Matt through the NT as he tracks the reptiles from the Tui Islands to the Victoria River. The usage of airboats and helicopters to lend a hand. Find the Beasts. Matt, pictured along with his 2-year-old son Banjo, has been taking pictures and relocating crocodiles all throughout the Northern Territory for the past 20 years. Matt, up to now, informed Daily Mail Australia. He's aware of the bounds and the hazards of the animals he'll get shot with in spite of his movements from time to time. Having a look reckless, there is a definite level the animals react to. Sure, drive issues, and you wish to have to grasp them from his or her response. He stated, you may also round all of them today. However, you have to know your limits. If we were given a variety of buffer, it will glance shut. However, if I were given a comfy buffer, there's no longer snapping at my blouse, so I'm no longer too shut. If I developed into comfortable or in a deadly zone, I'll again up and check myself. What happened here is most terrifying. If I define it as the snake recognizing me and preferring interaction with me over someone else, then yes, absolutely. You'd start by getting the snake to understand you're not a threat. You do this by desensitizing it to your presence. Once you've got that down, you can develop a positive association. And this is the hard part because you have to figure out what motivates snakes. You can't just give them treats until they see you as something positive rather than being indifferent. Naughty and active is a child's nature. This feature is more obvious than boys. 9 out of 10 boys are naughty. Yes, most boys are naughty in childhood, often because they're naughty and disobedient. They're often locked in a black room by their parents to teach or directly subjected to parental stick education. Boys being naughty and disobedient should be a headache for parents. Every parent has a different view of education in the face of naughty children. Some parents are tolerant, and parents think their children are too young anyway. Now I tell my child that he doesn't understand or remember long, and some parents teach their children severely and let them realize their mistakes. A treasured dad from Hangzhou, Jiang Province, Mr. Liu, because his son is naughty and loves to play in class. His academic performance was bad, and he only focused on playing at school, and he was not thinking about studying. After listening to the teacher, Mr. Liu was very angry all the way. He was angry about his son being so unbelievable and not pursuing progress. On the way to bring his son home, he opened up a mode of education for his son. Mr. Liu had been preaching to his son for a long time, but his son still had no response. The son seems to automatically filter out what the father said, as if one ear came in and the other ear came out. It's not the first time that Mr. Liu has heard the teacher react to his son like this. He's been educated for his son many times and still hasn't improved. Mr. Liu was angry and threw his son on the side of the road, leaving alone. When Mr. Liu went back to find his son, he found that the child was no longer where he was and disappeared. Dad didn't expect that he really lost his son. Mr. Liu dared to rush to the police station to call the police. Finally, through the help of monitoring and surrounding people, after more than an hour of contact and search, he successfully found Mr. Liu's son next to Snake's pit crawling with. Fortunately, there's no danger and predator animals saved the child life. It's understood that Mr. Liu's son is 3 years old and has just entered his first grade in nursery school after being dropped off by his father. I wanted to go home by myself, but I got lost and couldn't find the way home. Fortunately, the child was successfully found. In the end, or it would be unimaginable for Mr. Liu's son. It can be seen that the parents can't control their temper and lose control of their emotions. Punishing the children under irrational conditions will do much to the children injury. Then parents lose their temper with their children. What effect will it have on the children? Parents should not make irrational actions that hurt their children as soon as they lose control of their emotions. This will not only affect the parent-child relationship between the child and parent, but also it will cause children to complain about their parents in their hearts, which can easily arouse the children's rebellious psychology and then make some extreme actions such as running away from home. Children who live for a long time under the control of their parents out of control will not only cause harm to their child's bodily injury, but also harmful to the child's psychology. Parents should be the greatest protectors of the child, but in the end, they become the ones who bring harm to the child. Parents should pay attention to the way when communicating with their children. Parents should not use commands when they find their children are disobedient or when talking to children in a blatant way. Parents should communicate with their children as equals as adults. Parents should not lead their children in the wrong direction and put their children in a dangerous situation because of their own faults. If there are any mistakes, parents will not have time to regret at that time. Parents lose control of their emotions and lose their temper, which will really cause great harm to their children. Parents should pay attention to their own education methods. Pet cats and pet snakes do not mix well. Touching any mammal and reaching into a snake cage will get you bitten. A snake's world is smell. It doesn't matter what something looks like. If it smells like it has fur instead of hair, it's food. Also, many people have called me when their pet corn snake has been killed through the screen of a cage by their pet cat. The claws still hanging onto the head through the screen when they enter.